All right, here we go. All right, everything's live. So we are streaming from YouTube and Rumble tonight, y'all. First off, I would like to apologize. I'll try to speak loud so that it's kind of drowning out the background noise. We do have a severe storm going on here. I try to cancel out the noise, but whatever. We'll make it through it. So when I'm in a neutral position, I will mute my mic, but I will be here. Sound pretty good, T?
It sounds better.
Yeah. Yeah, I do apologize for it. Maybe it'll cut out. We got some tornadoes running around here. I was just talking to T background about it. So maybe they won't come over here to visit. But anyway. Yes, so y'all make sure you subscribe, hit that like button. We're definitely growing. We're up to 206 subscribers, and I do predict that it will keep on climbing. We're also jumping up on Rumble, so if you have not jumped over to Rumble and subscribed there, that's where we will be doing our Thursday night lives. We get a little more aggressive over there, a little more free speech. So if you want the entertainment aspect of it, that would be the spot to hit. So over here, as always, you got myself, Vanguard, and Absentee, and Ranger J. So what we will be talking to you about tonight is actually going to be situational awareness. We're going to keep it as basic as possible. All right. Some people's aware of it, some people's not. Some people may be aware of situational awareness and not really know it. Okay. You may do it as a natural thing. Some people do have that. And we'll just kind of go through that spiel. Like I said, we'll keep it as direct. I can't promise we won't run off into a tangent, but, that's the way we get down. But anyway, over in the description, the Rumble link is there, as well as evolutionvanguard1776.com. And then you got the Cash App and my email. So if y'all want to email me directly to come on the live shows on Thursdays, by all means, let me know. You do not have to have a Rumble account or a YouTube account to be able to come on live. I did get asked that question. We do everything through StreamYard, so it is a multi-platform streaming system. So yeah, that's basically all I got on my rundown. Jay, you or T got anything you want to add before we get to rolling?
Nope,
we're good.
All right. So basically what we'll do is we'll start this out explaining what situational awareness is, and it's just like it sounds. So basically it's the ability not to do what's called whiting out a situation in an area. I will be using some security/military terms that goes along with this, but I'll explain them as we go. So there are multiple categories, and I'm actually going to pull it up and show y'all this grid as we talk about this. Let's see here. But while I'm doing that, so situational awareness, and some people may not realize that you do it as a habit already. I can get this thing to work. Jeez. Anyway, so while I'm pulling that up, we'll go over it. So anyway, I'll give you a example, right? So as you're driving down the road, all right, you may be scanning ahead of the situation. Maybe not, but as we drive in a defensive mode, right? So what does that mean? It means that as you're traveling, you're looking for potential dangers on the highway, all right? So you're scanning ahead. So ask yourself this: when you're coming up to you're going down a main drag, right? And there's these roads that run up to your highway that you're on. You see this car coming towards it at a high speed, all right? Are you trusting that they're going to stop, or did you kind of ease your foot over towards the brake pedal? Any of y'all do that, T, Jay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So
you start kind of anticipating what they might do.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a situational awareness, and people just don't realize that they do it. It's kind of an involuntary act. Now,
Most people don't look as far as the hood of their own vehicle either.
right. And we're going to talk about what actually causes that.
Stupidity.
Situational awareness, and we kind of talked about this, and it was mentioned. It is a dying art. Okay. People used to be completely more aware of their surroundings than they are currently. And it's not because people don't know. It's because most of the time when you see people walking around, they either have earphones on, um, they have a cell phone in their hand or whatever. So they're just kind of narrowed down to that one situation, right? So they're not paying attention to anything around them. And that's what we're going to go into. I got that screen pulled up here. Let's see. I was trying to pull up the seal form of it, but yeah, that one was wrong. When I say seal, I don't mean Navy SEAL. It's actually scenario, evaluation, action, and root is what it actually stands for.
Right.
So it's not actually like a Navy SEAL term or anything like that. But let's see if I can find it. I had a really good one pulled up earlier. Oh, this one here will kind of work, I guess. So I'll pull this one up and put it on the screen. It'll kind of help out with the situation. Matter of fact, we'll use this one. Oh, hell. I want to try to make this big enough where y'all can see it. So I don't know. Can y'all see? Is that on there yet? No. Here we go. There we go. I don't know if that's big enough for y'all to see it there.
Yep.
Oh shit! What the hell?
I was wondering where you're going with that.
Well, I mean, it all plays in there, but there's the one we're looking for. What we're gonna do is this right here. Bam!
There you go.
All right, now we can all see it. So we'll leave that up there while we talk about it a little bit. So anyway, you do have your categories. Normally, it's broken down into actually 4 categories. It's normally white, yellow, orange, and then red. I was looking at something else. Okay, but anyway, so a lot of people refer to this as either looping, right, or seal, which is you want to search out you want to evaluate the situation, right, and then action, and then loop back around. So what we're talking about here, you got the first level, which is white. All right, that means you are completely unaware of your surroundings. Okay, either you're messing with your phone, even at a restaurant, you're staring at your food menu, right? All right, and then yellow, you're kind of aware, like you know that something's going on, but you're not 100% sure. And then you roll on over into orange, which is recognize the threat, and then red, which is ready to fight, which is actually take action, right? Now, the black level of it on this particular chart is in the fight. Now, here's the thing. You've got to evaluate for yourself as to whether or not you want to be in the fight or if you want to be in the situation. Most people, just being honest, are going to look at a way to get out of the situation. Just most people in general, right? So that doesn't change the steps that you need to go through in order to be ready for this. I'm gonna bring that down. So it doesn't change your steps. You actually need to be aware, right? You want to disinvolve the white portion of it. You don't want to be unaware of anything. Okay. You always need to have situational awareness, in my opinion. And I'll tell you what I do. And you can ask my wife this. Whenever we go to a restaurant, I always sit facing the entrance. Always.
Yeah.
All right. Now, am I going to know everybody's name tags and all that? No. But here's the deal. When I go in, I sit facing the main entrance, right? And then I know where a secondary exit is at all times. All right. And I'm not saying you need to do that everywhere, but what we're trying to base this off of is you're not normal situations. Like if you're visiting another town that you're not 100% aware of, you don't know the culture or whatever the case may be, right? So if you're, at a restaurant that's on a beach setting, right, and everybody's in shorts and flip flops, and you see some guy walk in with a damn trench coat on, there's something wrong, right? So
Yeah.
that's kind of the situational awareness that I'm looking into. I use this daily. It's kind of bred into me, right? So, and like I said, not all people want to be in an altercation. Human nature is to try to alleviate any stressful or harmful situation, especially if you've got your family with you, right? So my number one goal would be to what? Get my family out, get them to safety. All right. So you got to think about other things. You want to look around. Are the tables bolted to the ground? All right. Are the tables able to be moved? Can you snatch up a chair, throw it through a window, exit people out? That's all the things you need to be looking at in all situations. Now, your general locations, Walmart, stuff like that, I am a carrier. I do carry my sidearm with me everywhere I go. So I am planning for the event that I may have to protect other people. All right. So if you're in a crowded area, same thing. You know what type of people or situations that you may be in your hometown. So most of this pertains to areas that you're not familiar with. And that's the big deal. Now, also what comes along with situational awareness is not just knowing the location. You need to know the activities that's going on in your area at the current time, right? So we know there's a bunch of, murders going on and homicides and all that going on in certain big cities, right? Charlotte, we'll call that one. All right. Atlanta, all your major cities. So if you go there, are you going to walk around like it's your normal neighborhood? No. You're going to have a situational awareness. You have to adjust to the location that you're at. And here's the thing. We've always been told never read a book by its cover. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not profiling somebody, you're going to be on the bad end of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to profile people, and it's a common thing. Okay, it's not a sin to profile somebody. It's a sin to judge somebody, but there is a difference. All right, and like I said, if everybody's sitting in there, you've all got the same attire on. You're out Sunday dinner or whatever the case may be at your local buffet, and you got somebody walks in there that's kind of staring around like they're trying to case the joint, right? You want to watch for people like that. You've got to kind of narrow down the situation. All right. So that's kind of the basics of it. And I just wanted to let everybody know that and now that you think about it, you'll realize that you actually have situational awareness anyway. All right. Either some small form or large form. Now, I may be a little overzealous with it, but I'd rather be overbearing with it rather than not prepared. So, and my wife's accustomed to it, and she knows when we go into a restaurant, she knows exactly which seat I'm going to sit in, and it's just part of it. It's just part of my nature. So anyway, I'm going to kick it over to Jay and let him kind of funnel in on that. I know I kind of spit a lot of words there for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So, wow, okay. All right, Jay, what you got, buddy?
we use the same thing. I mean, the same color chart. Each color chart will actually have like a different different levels. I mean, what they describe as different levels of what they mean in each level. Black is in a fight. Red's ready to fight. Recognize a specific potential threat is orange. Situationally aware is yellow, and white is unaware potential victim. Which, um, when when I went through academy, we we always referred to it as a marshmallow. And don't be a marshmallow. You know, marshmallows aren't good for you. They're nasty. They're disgusting, and you know, you don't want to be soft and squishy. So that's how we were taught. You know, but like condition orange, you're alert specific to a specific thing, or you're in the planning stage versus some of the others. They're just a little less detailed. And the one I was looking at earlier was orange is also specifically identified interest, focus, or threat, ready to act. You're pretty much wargaming possible reactions. We covered a lot of the stuff in my career, and you basically, if you're living in yellow or white, there's something wrong. Um, I mean, you don't want to always live in orange or red, of course, but you definitely want to be a little more situationally aware. So, um, let's see here. Orange, heightened level awareness. Your sense of something is not right. This is the time to evaluate and formulate a plan. Evasion and diffusion works best here before the next level. Yeah, I mean, you go into a grocery store, um, you need milk, eggs, and bread, because that severe winter storm is coming and you need to have French toast, okay? No, not really. When you go into a grocery store, you're planning everything. You're looking for your ins and outs. You are looking at, people. You are, um, and I even do this quite a bit. If you're at a restaurant, you're at the grocery store. Is that person in front of you concealed carrying? At some point, someone's going to print. You're going to see somebody printing. Um, you're going to see like that odd shape, like around their belt line. Are they carrying a gun, or is it their cell phone? I usually sit there and try to pick that stuff out, because not only is it, good for me, it is also okay. Okay, if I'm going to go into the store and I'm, it is, you know, am I going to print at all? Because anybody that's generally up to no good will sit there and look for that stuff too. They want to see if anybody's got any opposition. There is a video of this dude open carrying, and he's got one of them really crappy nylon holsters that's got like one of them really cheap um, metal clips that usually people, the really stupid ones that never should even be for sale. This black dude comes up, he looks around, and the other guy is just like leaning over the counter, like there's nothing going on. This black dude reaches down, grabs the gun, and runs out the door. The guy chases after him. What's he gonna do? He's gonna get shot by his own gun, and he almost did. You know, dude was in condition white because he was probably staring at some chick and her low cut top. So If you go into the store or something, at least go in with a plan. Look for threats. Keep an eye on who's around you. If you're standing in line, make sure you don't have your back toward them. It's just really simple things that you want to remember when you're out. And if you are carrying a gun, you have a responsibility. I mean, your responsibility is up to here now. You know, if you have a kid with you, you know, you really have to be self-aware. Make a plan. What are you going to do with your kid when something happens in the store? What's your backup plan? You always got to think of something, because there are bad people out there that do bad things to people, and they could give zero shits about you, your family, anything about you. So, you know, condition white, condition yellow. I mean, I try to, I'll go in and, make a plan when I go into the store. And there's a guy that I know that I'm not going to say what he did, but he was very skilled. I'm going to go with very skilled. And he always says, when you go in and you see somebody that just, something isn't right, you watch that person, until you are comfortable with that person. Okay? And then if that person doesn't seem to be a threat, or they leave the store or leave the situation, just remember that person. But, you can come down off of condition orange, back to yellow. And so he explained it way better than I did, but it's always stuck with me.
All right, perfect. Appreciate all that information. But yeah, you're absolutely right, and I don't want to call it casing, but I'm really, I don't want to say bad about it, but everywhere I go, I'm constantly head on a swivel, constantly everywhere I
Yeah.
go. Especially nowadays, you never know. You don't know what anybody's got on their mind. They might have watched the damn TikTok video last night or some shit that put their mind in a weird place. You just never know. So, and it doesn't take much to trigger people nowadays, because it's kind of the norm for people to do crazy shit now. So, I mean, you just kind of have to watch out for everybody. So, we'll kick it over to T. I know you've probably been in a situation there at some point or another there, T.
Oh, I got one in mind.
All right, well, hell yeah.
Back in 1776, he was riding a horse.
Not quite that old, but thanks for that vote of confidence.
It was 75, damn it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
This kind of goes off the whole, if you carry a concealed weapon. Classic example, I was with my wife. We were at a Wally World, who isn't nowadays. And for whatever reason, we were having to come out and walk across the parking lot, kind of a ways. I don't remember why we came out that exit, but we did. So we're walking, and my wife's in front of me pushing the cart. I'm watching everything. I see 4 individuals directly in front of us. They're about 70 feet from us, maybe, coming straight at us, and they fan out. So I immediately tell my wife, I say, get behind me.
Yeah, condition red right there.
And I drop in front of her, and they see me free up my coat because I'm carrying concealed under my coat. And I think I had a shoulder rig at the time. I've already got my hand up in there, already unsnapped the weapon. I've got my hand on it, but I got the coat closed over my arm, and I'm just watching them. I wasn't trying to threaten them or impose anything or anything like that, but what I was doing, I was putting myself between them and my wife. B, I was putting my hand on my sidearm, which was ready to go. I knew that I have 4 targets, and I knew that if they came at us, it was going to be ugly no matter what happened. So luckily, nothing. They made eye contact with me. I made eye contact with each of them, and they kind of parted like the Red Sea. And as they parted, my wife came by me, and I kept my eyes on them and pivoted. I never took my eyes off of them. One thing I'll also say is if you do carry, always keep your primary hand free. Don't be carrying groceries in it or a 6-pack or whatever the hell it is you just bought. Carry it in your offhand. You need to have that hand free so you can access your sidearm or whatever you've got. Just something to think about. You don't, when you're in condition white, none of that shit's registering. Like that guy that had the pistol and the person took it out of his holster and took off with it. All those things are valid concerns. And when you're going to do that, you should always operate in the yellow all the time. And then if you hear a child scream out or you hear somebody yell, okay, now you're at orange. Because you picked up on something, you're going to scan, see what it is. And if it's just a kid that, got in trouble or whatever, okay, cool, back to yellow, move on about it. But let's say it's a kid and somebody snatching them up or somebody hauled off and bitch slapped their wife, whatever. Okay, now things are escalating and you've got to make a choice. Just an example. So something to think about. And that's all I got.
Thank you for that, sir. So, and we've kind of hit on several situations, everybody, and I'm going to talk about some other things too. A lot of people, they have different beliefs on concealed carry, open carry. I'm a concealed carrier. Okay, number one, and this is just my personal beliefs on it, and everybody's got their own preferences. So if you're in a populated area and you're brandishing your firearm and somebody has ill will, guess who the first target is? Yeah, they're going to take out the threat.
Let's assume that person. I mean, people can't even notice people in front of them. Okay, I mean, if you're amped up, if you think about it, if you're that amped up, your focus is going to be even less. You're going to be a little more tunnel visioned. So I always had the and this is talking with people that I know that are a hell of a lot more skilled. A lot of times, people that are that amped up, their situational awareness is even lower. So, for somebody to come in and, let's say you're in a bank and you're open carrying. I mean, Arizona, open carry. Everybody does it. Who cares? It's a gun. Someone can walk in and literally rob the bank, and guess what? There's like 4 people standing there, and they would totally miss that. There are situations that's happened. We call those dumb criminals. And I've run into personal story. I've known this lady 10 years. Okay, she asked me. She goes, "When did you start carrying a gun?" I said, "I've always carried a gun." She goes, "I've never noticed." And I'm like, sorry, but yeah. I mean, people really don't notice that stuff. They literally live in condition white a lot, and they just don't notice those little things. And I mean, okay, another situation. I generally carry open. I might, I've got an outside the waistband holster, and I've got a button-up shirt I might just throw over it. Yeah, you might print. It might be It might be noticeable if you reach up on a shelf or something to go grab something. You're going to see the bottom end of that holster. You know, but I had a buddy of mine in front of me, and he was open carrying, and this dude in the next aisle was sitting there just like eyeballing the dog shit out of his gun and sitting there staring at him and sizing him up. Well, you kind of stand back a little and off, because we were both standing in the line, and I'm sitting there eyeballing the dog shit out of this dude, staring at him, and finally, dude looks at me, looks at him, and then looks away. So, but yeah, you regularly want to, watch people around you to see what they're doing. Or if you've got someone covering your six, or you're covering someone else's six, okay, you definitely want to, keep aware of everything that's going on around you, and cover your buddy, because again, bad people out there. Go ahead, T. I've rambled on long enough.
No, everything you said was good. I mean, I guess my thing is the other pet peeve I have when I'm out and about, and this doesn't really have to do with concealed carry. It just has to do with, again, at least being in yellow all the time. My big thing is
orange.
Well, I don't function in orange, but I'm one of those kind of people that will sit back if I'm in a restaurant or whatever.
Yeah.
And if there's nothing going on in my family, I will listen to the people around me.
Yeah.
And I can pick up on conversations like, this person's pissed off because, her husband's cheating on her. This person over here's, mad at his boss. I'll key in on all that shit. And whichever conversation I can hear the best, I'll tune into that one until there's something pertaining, relevant in my locale, and then I'll participate in that. But I've always done that since I was a kid, and it's just something I picked up and I never stopped doing. But what I was going to say is, the one thing I can't encourage people enough to do is, when you are in a public setting, especially when you're by yourself, or you're and this is nothing against women in general, but unfortunately females are targeted more than males in this situation. When you come out of a store and you're walking into a parking lot or whatever, you need to be aware of your sides and behind you.
Yep.
Where I live years ago, lady came out in broad damn daylight of a Walmart. She's probably in her 20s, came out doing her own thing. She comes out of the store. She gets about 20 feet into the parking lot, and a guy that was leaning against the front of the store immediately drops in behind her. You see him follow her to the car. She goes to get in the car. He overpowers her, jumps in the car. They drive off.
Yeah.
Now, that whole situation could have been avoided had she been situationally aware. Now, I'm not saying, I'm not criticizing her necessarily, but I'm saying, had she been aware of her surroundings when she came out and not just focused on getting in the car and going wherever, whatever she was doing, she would have picked up on Fred dropping in behind her. And anytime I'm out and I come out of a store, the first thing I'm doing is I'm watching behind me on my sides, because nowadays the big thing is this TikTok bullshit and everything else. They'll come up and blindside you just for shits and giggles. So you gotta try and be aware of everything around you all the time. So just something to think about when you're out there.
Also, one other thing that is, and I've started to see this a little more often, is people starting to notice like little things on their vehicles. Remember that thing that was not too long ago?
The tracker?
No, not the trackers, but the it's like people will write stuff on people's vehicles. It said 1W 2K. Okay, one woman, 2 kids.
Yep.
And they were starting to write stuff on the vehicles and stuff, and women are starting to notice this stuff. And I mean, I'm glad, that they figured it out, and yeah, wipe that shit off,
Yeah.
because someone's casing them,
Yeah.
and go buy a gun. Seriously, go get training.
Well,
So,
some people, I encourage anybody who's comfortable with a firearm or
yeah,
feels like they can come to do that, but I'm not going to tell everyone out there they've got to have one.
right.
Couple examples. My daughter carries one of these
Oh, okay.
keychain. I'll try and get it where it's in the camera if you can see it.
There,
See
there
that?
you go. Yeah, yeah.
It's called the Brutus. Cost you about $6. It's stiff PVC or some kind of plastic. If you hit somebody hard enough, you can break him 2 things off them, those ears. The other thing,
Yeah.
that shit works. Just
Oh,
don't
that's
get
fine.
on you.
Yeah.
And another thing, this is a larger one, but you can get smaller ones. A collapsible baton.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Like
there's always stun guns and things of that nature. I'm just saying, figure out what you're comfortable with. You don't have to carry a gun. All 3 of us choose to do it because either it's something in our line of work or we've been trained with it or it's just how we're wired. But you do what you're comfortable with, but make sure that you understand how to use it, whatever it is you choose to do, and that you're aware so you don't end up getting it taken from you and used against you or your loved ones.
Right.
That's all I can say.
I was surprised when my sister she decided she wanted to carry a gun, a couple years ago. She's never liked guns. Didn't really care for it, and didn't really think she needed one. And then all of a sudden, you know how women are. All of a sudden, they get this idea in their head, and it's all good now. But I'm glad she did. But she went out and got a gun, and she got some training from somebody that was well versed in using it, and I'm happy. I know now that she can go protect herself. It's um, you literally have to get into that frame of mind anymore. So I like this chart.
Yeah, I like that too. And it's spot on, which, it really is.
Yep.
I mean, each of you ask yourselves, how many times have you been out somewhere and heard somebody holler out or heard somebody raise their voice or heard something drop and immediately you're on it?
Oh yeah.
You're trying to locate what just happened, why it happened, what's involved. But then again, the majority of people, I truly believe the majority of people I run into, they're white. They're in the white section.
Yeah.
They're clueless.
Condition white. I mean.
Yeah. They're just riding down the road with their mask on their face and listening to, NPR or whatever the hell it is.
fucking John Denver and and they don't notice anything between their windshield and the hood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And wow. Yeah. To kind of break down this chart, y'all, if y'all look and you hear T and Jay and myself speaking about being in the yellow and everything, there's a lot of things that falls into that category. You've got your awareness. That's number one, right? Are you sharp? What's your perception? Okay. Are you alert? Are you focused? All right. So, and observant. So that's the main characters that you need to kind of stay in all the time. Do we need to have the want to go to red? No, absolutely not. Okay. But you need to be ready that if it moves into orange or the red category, like I said earlier, you'll need to evaluate that situation dependent on your personal situation. Myself, am I going to get my family out of there first? Yeah, of course. Okay, that's number one. All right. And I'm going to get them out. Am I going to run? No, I'm not that guy. Okay. I wouldn't be able to deal with myself if I left everybody else in there vulnerable. Right. And like I said, though, everybody's not built the same. Right. So some people's like, oh, they're on their own. And you can't be faulted for that. Some people just may not have the tactic or ability to be able to manipulate the situation in a favorable event for everybody involved, right? So, like I said, you got to base that on your situation and your situation only. And we've got.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just had this mental image of Vanguard running out in the parking lot, jumping his truck and leaving, and just leaving the wife and kids in the parking lot, and they're like, "What the hell?"
Never.
I know you wouldn't, but I just had that quick mental image. I mean, it was
Well, I am a little guy, so I'd have to figure out something.
tiny.
Yeah.
We've heard that before.
Yeah. Little guy. I'm just small. I'm like 4'8", y'all.
Just a tip.
Yeah. It could be true. I measured myself with a Dollar General tape measure one time. I was like 4'9.5" or some shit. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, she's had a baby show up tonight. What? Oh, Mama D. So yeah, and I was reading the comments. There are different situations to open carry, concealed carry. It's your own personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
We're not saying do it this way, do it that way. Just like some people carry without a round in the cylinder, I carry with a round in there, just simply because in a situation, those milliseconds could be the difference in saving your life and not, right?
Yep.
But a lot of people say, well, I'm not comfortable carrying one in there. That means you have not had the proper training with your sidearm. Okay. You need to know your weapon. All right. If the weapon you have does not have all the accommodations that you need in order to be in a mental state of being of safety, then you need to change your weapon. All right. Weapons are built to fit everybody. Right. You can change them, alter them, whatever the case may be. But I'm a concealed carry, round in the chamber kind of guy. I mean, that's just me. But like I said, that's my own preference. I kind of want to have the element of surprise. But also, on the other aspect of things, people are not going to confront people that are going to give them opposition either in some scenarios. So if you've got a weak-minded individual that intends on robbing somebody and you have that sidearm that's brandished, right, they're not going to mess with you because they're like, well, I'd rather go over here and mess with this little person over here that looks like they've probably been on soy milk for a week, right? So it's two different situations. But some people also brandish their weapons for the wrong reason too. It's kind of look and see what I got kind of thing, right? And then to clarify on the concealment, if you're printing, you're not concealed. Okay, I've seen people walk around with their hand propped on their weapon through their shirt. Why? What's the point in concealing if you're going to do that? Right? And then you also see them adjusting their holster. They may have one of those cheap, nylon with the little strap on it that you got to take your belt off and run through it and all that shit, right? So, and it's just big, bulky. Get yourself something good. If you're going to be a concealed carry, inside belt loop, whatever, however you want to do it, inside waist. But anyway, like I said, preference, your personal preference, whatever makes you feel more comfortable. All right. There's no set standard on how you protect yourself or whatever. Now, in a situation of chaos, though, you got to kind of take the responsibility to be the calm, level head. And what I would tell you is if you start practicing these scenarios and start implanting this in your mind, as to walking inside of a unusual area. And most of the places and restaurants that I eat at, I've been to them numerous times, right? Which we all have. If you're in a town long enough, you've been to just about every restaurant that's in the Yellow Pages, right? So anyway, you go in there, you're kind of comfortable. So you'll know if somebody's out of place automatically. And even though I know the area, like I said, I still sit where I'm facing the entrance, right? I know my exits. I know what I could use in the event that I need to as a weapon. A chair's a great weapon, y'all. Just saying, right? You may need to flip a table up on its side, get people behind it. Now, is that going to be concealment or cover? That's going to be concealment, right? There's a difference in cover and concealment, and we'll go into that probably next week. We'll roll into that. So we're going to try to keep these videos kind of rolling into situations. But in a nutshell, the difference in concealment and cover is concealment, you're hiding yourself from them. Cover means it's something they can't shoot through, right? So there's a difference. But you want to look at all of that stuff. And I know we're hitting y'all with a lot of information, but I promise you're going to pick up on some of it. And the next time you go to a restaurant, you're going to be thinking about what we said. I can almost guarantee it. I've talked to people on this situation numerous times, and they're like, man, I never realized how many doors and stuff were in a building that I always went to. They just know the entrance, exit at the main entrance. I will tell you this, all restaurants are required to have an exit door in their kitchen. It is a requirement. Okay. And that's in the event of a fire situation, right? Or in the event of emergency situations. So that's always an alternative, right? Your bathrooms, that's going to be a good concealment and cover. All right. Because if you can go in there and all bathrooms, most bathrooms, I don't want to say all of them, but most of them have a locking mechanism. All right. So you go in there, you lock that door, get in the stalls, whatever the case may be, wait until it dies down, whatever the case may be. You just have to base it on the situation. And that's kind of what we're getting at. There's no set blueprint for situational awareness. To each is their own, right? So y'all just kind of keep that in mind, especially in the world that we're living in. And what we're trying to base all of our informational videos on is based on today's society, right? So we know we got a lot of chaos. Any given moment, some person can come in and just do something extremely crazy. And you can never be prepared enough. I know for a fact that schools are mandatory to go through invader training, right? And they've got a lot of protocols in place. But here's the thing. School shootings are still occurring no matter how much training they've had, right? And fatalities are still occurring. So you can never be prepared enough. So always get that mentality that, hey, I'm going to be prepared as best as I can. But you're never going to be enough. It'll never be enough. The moment that you think that it's enough is going to be when it bites you in the ass. All right. So yeah, we're actually on a subject that kind of tugs at my interest, because it's something that I use daily. So I can talk about this all night, but it's about a shared screen. Jay, I know you got something else. Come on.
Me?
Yeah, we got a few more minutes, man.
Fire away.
A few more minutes. Shoot, we got hours. Hours. Not to say that we have to stay to an hour. Well, I mean, you gotta
Think of it as you're trying to do one of those tests in school, and you know that the students are going to start falling asleep and dropping off after that first hour. So you got to keep the information kind of localized.
Well, you killed that a long time ago.
Wow.
So, I mean, we've covered a lot of good material here, a lot of personal situations. There's this is something that we could talk about forever and have like different, different levels. We could talk about this on a number of different lives. I mean, this stuff just never gets old. because all the information is solid. And just even between the three of us, I mean, we've always done it, you know. So there's a ton of experience here. People that I've learned from, Vanguard's learned from, T. I mean, if anybody's got any questions, you know, fire it off in the chat. Ask us later on the side, you know. I mean, I've got some more situations. I just it'll just point me out though, and you know, we wear these masks for a reason, not because it's cool or we think it's fun, but you know, somebody sees the right video or you know knows of a certain situation, then you know it'll single us out. So, but you know, we're trying not to be doxxed, you know. But T, I'm gonna pass it off onto you.
All right. Yeah, we've tried to keep this basically kind of like an entry level. We don't want to lose people in the weeds trying to give them a bunch of data at one time and them saying, what the hell are they talking about? So we tried to keep it simple and on point, so that hopefully everybody here gains something from it. We try to keep it, you know, relatively lighthearted, I guess, and gave some good examples of some different things. Again, we're not trying to push what you carry or what you do or anything like that. We just want you to be aware of what's around you, what's going on, especially nowadays, because this is not the same society we all grew up in. It's changed, not for the better. And people have become so immersed in everything but what is going on that it's a detriment to your own safety and well-being. And you need to be aware, because evil never sleeps, and it will look for a opportunity, and it will seize that opportunity if you allow it. So you need to just be aware. You know, I think every time when I go out, and I'll shut up shortly, just bear with me, Vanguard. I think when I'm out, take for instance my grandchildren, it's like a father bear. I'm always watching everything. I just don't trust anybody. And when you've got a bunch of children or grandchildren with you, you've got to have a much more heightened sense of what's going on around you, because now you've got little ones that you're their world and you're their protector. It's your duty to cover their ass, regardless of anything. They're your responsibility. You know, so just something to think about. That's it.
Good deal. So yeah, a lot of information, y'all. If it's something that interests y'all, please by all means reach out to me. Even if you don't have access to our private chats, my email is floating right here on the screen. Anybody that wants to email me and go over some information, I'm perfectly fine with that. We're not here to be YouTube famous. We're here to share information by our experience in life, right? So some of you may know more than us. By all means, if you do, I'm open for it. I can never stop learning, right? I'm always constantly absorbing things. So, I mean, I could have went into, you know, people's algorithms and body language and stuff like that. But like we said, we want to keep it to the basics. You know, simple things like if you go to a convenience store, don't park on the side where there's no lights, right? You want to park where people can see you. Even if it's the bad person that's going to see you. When you go to your large shopping malls or whatever the case may be, park close to the store. I know some people worry about getting their cars dented or scratched. Don't park at the back of the parking lot. Park up front. Get up on the light pole. All right. And it's just little things like that that will help you. You know, just keep your situational awareness up. But we kind of went over a basic splatter of the situation. I hope that it was informational for everyone. I hope y'all absolutely use some of this information. That's what the goal is. I do thank y'all for coming by. I did miss my shout out, so I'll do that now before we end this. So, man, we go a long ways back there. A lot of chat. So, as always, we got Cat in the chat, Saxman, Demon. What's up, buddy? Y'all, you can also hit up Demon on the sidebar too, man. He's got a lot of information on this. Palmetto, April D. Chris Carroll, thanks for stopping by, brother. Absentee, we had Ozzy over on Rumble, so he was over on that side. So if you see this, Ozzy, thanks for stopping by. And Jay, we got Jay here too. And Highlander. But anyway, like I said, I do hope that this helped everybody out. Y'all remember, go on there, sign up on Evolution Vanguard 1776 2.0. I'm sorry, 1776.com. My email is vanguard1776 2.0 at gmail.com. And then you got the Cash App if you want to donate. Up to you. Doesn't matter. If you like to support bad habits, by all means, I can guarantee it will go to that purpose. But anyway, that's all I got. Y'all be safe out there. Always be aware. Just keep on adjusting yourself to the situation. But as always, Vanguard, Absentee, and Ranger J. And then we'll catch y'all on the flip side. Take care, everybody.
Night, everyone.